Hi guys, it's me ROSJ and welcome back to Xaltic The Beginning series. The last time we talked about magicians and learning basic alchemy, where Anuk teaches Nald different types of magicians and also strategy on how to defeat them. Anuk also teaches basic alchemy to Nald. Now let us go to the continuation of chapter 1, and this subchapter is called Mystic Beings. There it is. Now in this sub-chapter, I will discuss what is mystic beings and different types of mystic beings. Anuk also teaches Nald strategy on how to defeat them. Now in this subchapter has a very long conversation because I included a lot of monsters. Not all of the monsters will appear in chapter 2 and 3. I'm planning to include the rest of the monsters in a different series of Xaltic. Now if you missed my previous video and you want to know the whole summary of chapter 1, I posted the link in the description below for you to watch it back, because chapter 1 has a very long conversation. Now without further ado, let us continue. Nald get up from his sleep and go outside the small hut. Anuk wake up early. Nald sit beside his father again, and the two start to converse. Good morning, son. Good morning, father. Now, it is time for me to teach you what are mystic beings and the strategy on how to defeat them, so listen carefully. Understood, father. I'm ready. Okay, now when we say mystic being, these are creatures that is not belong in this dimension. Remember, our dimension is a human world. Nald was able to understand as he replied, Understood, father. Anuk continue. Now, we categorize mystic being based on their traits. There are actually total of 7 mystic beings, but we will not include the good mystic beings because they are not a threat. Nald has a question. Father, what is this good mystic beings? What are these good mystic beings? Anuk replied, the good mystic beings are like humans in this world, but they belong in a different dimension. They come in different shapes and sizes. They like to live in peace and they are not corrupted compared to us humans. Now then ask a question. Why humans are corrupted, father? Anuk replied, because we humans tend to be more selfish, lust for power. We take more than we can chew. We don't care if others suffers, and we take pleasure to see others suffer. We destroy Mother Nature, just like us Xaltic way back. We are more corrupt than ordinary human, though we are humans ourselves. We are savages and cunning. We don't care if we live or die. All we care about is power. We invaded Sumerian tribe and other tribe, killed all of them. That includes women and children, without showing mercy or remorse. Completely obliterated them, just to let them know that we Xaltics are in control. We seek to conquer everything. We just really cannot stop to have more power, and we cannot satisfy our greed for power. We are always aggressive. Might be because we don't have empathy or sympathy and compassion. Some feelings that are locked away, and only the Holy Sigil unlocked it. When Holy Sigil unlocked that feeling, our aggressiveness turned into compassion and changes the way I look on your mother. Before, I look at her as another mate for sex. No feeling for love. We treat our children as warrior once they are born. All weak babies and children are killed. Only strong survive. We don't show love on our children, but now it's different because Holy Sigil unlocked that feeling of compassion and love, and I'm showing it to you. You're a very lucky son. Nal then replied, Father, I did not imagine how savage we are back then. It is so frightening to live in our time, to live in our era. I know, son, you're so lucky. I come to think of it when I remember all the mistakes that we Xaltic have done in the past. I feel the guilt inside. I want to repent for all the sins that we Xaltic committed, and make it right this time. But I don't have enough time to live. So, you do that for me, son? Nald replied, Yes, Father, I promise that I will repent for our mistakes in the past. Anuk replied, Good. That makes me feel better. By the way, son, not all humans are corrupted. I still believe there's still good humans. I need you to defend those who are in need of help. Because in this world of human, only strongest survive, and weak people is either killed or oppressed. And don't discriminate good mystic beings if they need help. Help them, okay? Nald replied, Understood, Father. I will do that. Anu continued the discussion. Now let us go back to the topic. Good mystic being consists of halflings, dwarves, and elves. Let us start with halflings. Halflings are the smallest of the three good mystic beings. Their height is 3 feet tall. They love to socialize with their own kind. They are not aggressive, and if there's any intruder coming under town, they prefer to hide or run. But if you get to know them, they're actually the kindest good mystic beings. Now then, ask a question. Father, where can you find halflings? They're actually located just south of Kalali Woods. Halflings prefer isolated areas where there is no human can hurt them. Nald was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. Anok continued. Next good mystic beings are dwarves. They are 4 feet tall. They love to drink alcohol and love to socialize as well. They are strong even though their size are small. They can even wield great axes. They can be aggressive if provoked. They can tolerate silver metals, and they are trustworthy. Dwarves' hometown is located just north of Grasnot, through the mountains, though you can find dwarves living through a human town, or they have their own hut in random places of Grasnot. Most humans are racist. They don't like creatures other than them. The next good mystic beings are elves. Elves is actually the tallest of all good mystic beings, the same height as humans. The difference is their ears are pointed, and it is said that they can live 1,000 years as well. They are very socialized on their own kind. They can be aggressive if provoked. Elves are smart as humans, so expect that there will be an elven magician. They are also skilled in hand-to-hand combat and good in using bows and swords. They can tolerate silver metal, same as dwarves. Now then ask, Father, how about the halfling? Can they tolerate silver? Anok then replied, No, son. Halfling is not immune to silver. It burns their skin. Nald then replied, Understood, Father. Anna continued the discussion. Elf's hometown is located at the eastern part of Kalali Forest. Though there are some elves that are living in human population, most likely for slave trading. They are being oppressed by humans right now. That is the reason why most of the populations of elves is located in the eastern part of Kalaliwood. They don't welcome human there. Just let them keep their space, okay? Nald was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, father." "Son, you don't need to worry about good mystic beings because they are not aggressive, except for dwarves and elves. They can be aggressive if provoked or threatened, but you don't need to provoke them in order for you to fight them. They are peace-loving creatures." Now I was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, father." Anak then continued the discussion. "Now let us talk about the 7 mystic beings that you need to know and be aware of danger. These are dark mystic beings, special mystic beings, undead mystic beings, elemental mystic beings, spirit mystic beings, dragons, and godlike mystic beings. Again, son, we categorize them based on their trait." Nald was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, father." Now let us start with the dark mystic beings. These beings are opposite of good mystic beings. These dark mystic beings are corrupted by evil essence, making them stronger. There are 3 dark mystic beings. These are goblins, ogre, and orcs. Now then ask, "Father, question, you told me that mystic beings are complete opposite of good mystic beings. Do they look like good mystic beings but is more power?" Anak replied, "No, son, they are not. Let's say once an halfling has been consumed completely by evil essence, it will turn into a goblin. It changes both physical trait and mental trait of the mystic beings that is being consumed by evil essence, meaning it is a whole new, different being. Just like humans, if they are possessed by demons, they become completely different being." Nald was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, father." "Now, son, let us start with goblins. Goblins are a grotesque small creature with pointy ears. This creature is a result of an evil essence that turned halfling into goblins. They are mischievous and they love to kill because it feeds their evil essence to prolong their life in this dimension. They have a capability to change their hands into claws, and they're also fast as well. They're highly intelligent dark beings. They use strategy to kill their prey. They can trick you in order for them to land a deadly blow. My recommendation fighting this being is heighten your senses, physical attributes. We are much faster than this creature, so take that as an advantage and outsmart them as well. So make sure don't fall on their tricks, okay?" Now was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, father." Anu continued the discussion. Now let us go to the next dark mystic being, which is ogre. Ogres are grotesque medium-sized creatures with brutish humanid in features. This creature is a result of an evil essence that turned dwarves into ogre. They start as a medium-sized creature but can grow up to 15 feet. They also need to kill in order for them to feed their evil essence. The more they feed their evil essence, the faster they grow. Ogres are brutally strong, even in medium size. They can still kill with their strength. Aside from that, they also have a sharp fingernails that can tear people apart. They are not that fast compared to goblins, so that will be our advantage to them. So strategy-wise in defeating this creature, we use our speed and agility. Heightened senses and physical attribute is also recommended. Ogre have thick skin, so it will time for you to kill this creature. Nal was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. Okay, the last dark mystic beings will be orcs. Orcs are grotesque, large-sized creatures with distinctive form of a warrior. This creature is a result of an evil essence that turned elves into orcs. This creature has the capability to wield weapons aside from their incredible strength and size. Like humans or elves, orcs know how to create weapons through the use of steel. They prefer destruction of all living being. They kill to feed their hunger for evil essence. The strategy in defeating an orc is same thing as fighting a human in hand-to-hand or weapon-to-weapon, though they are not intelligent as elves or humans, but in battle they have a formidable fighting strength. Sorcerer has a capability to summon large numbers of orcs. They can be used for war. If this happens, you have to kill the sorcerer to prevent or stop the war. Nald was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. Anok then continued the discussion. Now let us go to the next mystic beings. These are special mystic beings. Special mystic beings are creatures that has special traits. When you say special traits, these are combined traits from different species that turn into one being. It is like an hybrid being. It can be combined traits of a man and beast, beast and beast, beast and plants. Some say that this creature are the result of sorcerer who experiment on human and beast hybrid. For me, I believe that they belong in a different dimension, but we cannot stop man for their greed on doing the impossible through the use of magic. So that means there are special mystic beings that are created by man. Now then ask, Father, how can we differentiate special mystic beings created by man? Anok then answered, For you to know if the mystic being is created by man, is you have to look on their behavior. Most special mystic beings are like wild animals. They don't kill unless they are hungry or threatened, and some are territorial. But if you leave them alone, they are not a threat. Some special mystic beings are herbivores and solitary, but can kill if threatened. You will only notice the special mystic beings made by man if they're acting like unnatural in their respective behavior. Men, or what we call magicians, used to create special mystic beings, and use magic to create special mystic beings. And this magic is what we called curse. Curse can be cast to any living beings and then turn them into another living being, but with conditions. The curse is a special mystic being behavior is very different. They are more aggressive and will not satisfy their hunger, and can be controlled by the one who cast the curse. Cursed special mystic beings are controlled by certain conditions made by the caster. Best example of this condition is the person who has been cursed and can only turn into special mystic beings in a certain time frame, like nighttime. The fight pattern of this cursed special mystic being is the same as their natural counterpart, but the only difference is they are more aggressive. It can be controlled by magicians. I'll be discussing different types of special mystic beings so that you will have the knowledge and make a strategy of defeating this creature. Now I was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. So far, I have discovered a total of 13 species of special mystic beings. These are Capre, Tikbalang, Minotaurus, Golem, Tripine, Griffin, Medusa, Vadnokana, Cylodon, Centaur, Siren, Myrmidon, and werewolf. Each of these special mystic beings has their own special abilities that you need to be aware of. Now, let us start with Capre. Capre has a combined characteristic of a hybrid giant man and beast. They are 30 feet tall, and most of its body is covered with black hair, except for their grotesque face, abdominal and upper body back. These creatures are hermaphrodite, meaning they produce their own offspring. They have a capability to become invisible. They are nocturnal creatures. They prefer not to be seen. Very solitary creatures, and most of their diets are eating woods and trees. They also use woods to smoke and has a capability to bite woods and spit it into fire. They are not aggressive creature unless provoke or threaten. Just in case that you encountered an aggressive capre, you have to know their attack patterns and capabilities. Since they can become invisible, heightened senses are recommended. Our carnal senses will do a lot of help in this battle. It increases all our senses and physical traits beyond normal. Even if we can't see them, we can still hear and feel them. We will become much faster and able to dodge their spitfire. Usually the first thing that they will do is to stump you with woods, and then if unable to hit you, that is when they will bite the wood and spit it into you with fire. They will become invisible as well, so we use our carnal senses to heighten our senses and able to dodge all their attacks. Since they are very tall, we will be having a hard time to land a deadly blow to the chest. There are two ways we can do this. First option is we can use our elemental transmutation to hurt them severely, but they are invisible. It will be hard for us to hit them. Second option is we keep hitting their knees and feet with our spear until they kneel, so that we can land a deadly thrust through their chest. Then Nod asked a question. Father, I have a question. Where can we find this creature? Anak replied, you can find them as long as there are woods and trees in the area. Nod then asked, there are wood and trees here, so that means they are here, right? Anak replied, possible, son, but I'm not sure. Nod then replied, why can't we see them, Father? Anak replied, it's because we are invisible. It's because they are invisible, remember? Unless they want you to see them. Nod then asked, giants are heavy, right? At least when they walk, we can hear them, right? Anak replied, no, son. No, son, that is actually the very intriguing part about them. Even though they are big, once they become invisible, you cannot hear them. Unless our senses is beyond normal to sense them, like activating our carnal senses will do. And maybe it's also part of their ability. Now then ask, can we sense them, Father? Anak replied, we cannot sense them unless they pose a danger. That will trigger our carnal senses. Now then, Anal was able to understand as he replied, understood, Father. Now, Anak continued the discussion. The next special mystic beings are Tikbalang. Tikbalang has a combined characteristic of a man and beast. These creatures are 15 feet tall and looks like a bony humanoid creature with disproportionate long limbs to the point that its knees reaches above its head. It squats down. The head looks like a horse, an upper body looks like a body of a man, and an elongated lower body looks like a leg of a horse. These creatures are hermaphrodites, meaning they produce their own spring. This creature can be found in either mountains or forests, and their main diets are any type of leaf or grass. This creature lives in a solitary and this creature lives in a solitary and is very territorial. And if threatened or provoked, it will attack and kill. Now, the capability of this creature came from its power and speed. The nails on both hands is sharp as glass. If any case that you encountered an aggressive tikbalan, the best strategy is our speed and agility. We are much faster than them. Our carnal senses will be our key in defeating this creature. The creature is really fast from its large size. Their attack patterns is attacking directly with both arms, but in a very fast pace. So just evade all of its attacks, especially those sharp nails. Then find an opening to deliver a killing blow. Nal was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." Anu continued the discussion. The next special mystic beings are Minotaurus. Minotaurus has a combined characteristic of a man and beast. This creature are 15 feet tall, looks like a bony humanoid with a very large upper body, and the large lower body but short legs. The head looks like a bull, the upper body looks like a body of a human, and the lower body looks like a leg of a bull. These creatures are hermaphrodites, meaning they produce their own offspring. This creature can be found mainly on caves, but they get out at night to feed. Their diets are mainly any types of leaves. The capabilities of these creatures came from its raw power, but not so agile compared to Tikbalang. When it comes in raw power, this creature is much powerful than Tikbalang. This creature lives in solitary and very territorial as well. If threatened or provoked, it will attack and kill. The attack pattern of this creature is based on their raw power. First, they will do the charge using their heads and sharp horns, ramming it to their target. If they hit the target, they can either throw you away with only one swing of their head or ram you into the wall that will crush your body and can kill in an instant. If their sharp horns pierce you, you will bleed to death. They can use both of their strong arms to throw or pound their target, so don't get caught by this creature. They're slow, so the strategy is killing this creature is evading their attack, then find an opening to deliver a killing blow. But be wary. Though this creature has a strong will to leave, even if we hit their vital parts, they can still attack. I'll then ask, how can we defeat them, Father? Just keep hitting their vital parts until they die. But don't forget to dodge all their attacks. Nal was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." Now, I'll continue. The next special mystic beings are Golem. Golems has a characteristic of a hybrid giant man and hybrid beast. They are 30 feet tall and most of its body is covered with thick skin that looks like a rock. A grotesque giant beast that is very hard to damage. This creature can be found either on the forest and mountains, and their diet is more on meat. Human, elves, and dwarves is also included as part of their diet. They are solitary, territorial, and very aggressive creatures. These creatures are hermaphrodites, meaning they produce their own offspring. The capability of this creature is mainly on defense. Their thick skin is so hard as rock that ordinary steel won't puncture this creature. Since our spear is a specialized weapon and very sharp, it can dent its skin up until we can puncture through and throw a deadly blow on them. They are not fast, but they are very strong. The first attack they do is to stomp their prey using either hands or foot. They can also throw anything that they can put on their hands. They can also throw anything that they can put on their hands on, such as rocks or a tree. As much as possible, you evade their attack. Their eyes is not hard as their skin, so you can target that and make it as one of your initiative in battle. They are giants, so that means it's hard for us to target their vital parts, so we do the same strategy in fighting giants, such as keep hitting their foot and knees with our spear up until they kneel, and use that leverage to deliver a killing blow on their vital parts. But this strategy takes time due to their very tough skin. If you want to end this quick, we can go to the second option. Once they kneel, we climb a bit further to the head and thrust their eyes with our spear. Change the angle of the angle thrust upward so that you can hit their brain, which will finish them much quicker. But in order to do this, your thrust force should be beyond normal because the inside of their head is thick but not as hard as their skin. Now Dan has a question. Father, I have a question. Can we use our mind transmutation to control these monsters? Anuk replied, yes, you can, son, but you need a lot of physical energy to control this giant, and you need to directly weaken them so that once you climb to their head, just simply put the mind control orb and make sure that the mind control orb has enough physical energy to take control, or else it will not work. And remember the rules, the bigger the object, the more physical energy required. Now I was able to understand as he replied. So that means I can also use other offensive elemental transmutation to defeat this monster. Not this one, son, but analyze your opponent's weakness. First, before using your offensive elemental transmutation, if your opponent is weak against fire, then use it. But if the skin of this creature is so tough that our elemental spell is not enough to damage them except for their eyes, we can target it with our offensive elemental transmutation. Now I was able to understand. Understood, Father. I will continue the discussion. The next special mystic beings are Trepine. Trepine has a combined characteristic of a hybrid beast and plant. They are 15 feet tall and they look like a normal tree with the face of a monster. They use their thick trunks and root to walk. They also use this to attack the main source of their diet. The main source of their diet is nutrients in the soil. This creature are hermaphrodite, meaning they produce their own offspring. They can be found in any forest. That includes here in Kalali Forest. They are solitary as well, and they don't attack unless provoked or threatened. Just give them their space and they will not bother you. Just in case that you encounter an aggressive Trepine, their attack patterns mainly use their thick trunks and roots. It is sharp. If they use their trunks or roots to thrust an attack, they will attack in different directions. That includes attacking you at the back or on the ground. The range of their trunk and roots is up to 15 feet. Moving out of range can also help you sometimes. They use all their trunks and roots to attack at the same time. Using our carnal senses, we can evade all of his attacks. This creature has an ability to heal when you cut them off, so the fastest way to defeat this creature is to burn them. Fire is their weakness. With full power of fire transmutation, we can incinerate this creature in an instant. Nal was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. The next special mystic beings are Griffin. Griffin are characteristic of a both hybrid beast and a combination of panther beast and bird beast. They are 13 feet tall and the head looks like a hawk. The upper body looks like a bird and the lower body looks like a panther. Expect that this creature can fly. They can be found in highermost plain mountains just south of Grasnot. Their diet consists of meat but rarely prey on human dwarves and elves. They are very territorial and solitary, but sometimes once in a year both males and females griffin join together to mate, and after several days they go on their separate ways. Once threatened or provoked, they will attack and kill. Their prey ability is mainly on flying, but they have sharp beaks and claws that you need to be aware of. Attacking from above is their specialty in killing their prey. You cannot outrun them. You cannot outrun them if they use this move. The only way for you to survive their special attack is to evade them. If in any case that you encounter both male and female griffins at the same time, make sure to heighten all your senses and physical traits. Sometimes they use cooperative attacks where they will attack you with their specialty and non-stop barrage of attack in the air and ground. Use your offensive elemental transmutation can help us defeating these monsters. Using our offensive elemental transmutation can help us defeating these monsters. We Xaltic are much faster than them. By using our common senses, we can defeat this creature. I was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." The next mystic beings are Medusa. Medusa has a combined characteristic of a man and beast. Their size ranging from 7 feet to 8 feet. The face looks like a human, but the top of their body and head is filled with snakes instead of hair. The upper body is shaped like a human as well, but the lower body is shaped like a snake. Medusa can be categorized as male and female. Male Medusa is 8 feet tall, while female Medusa is 7 feet tall. They can be found in random places of caves or ruins. Just like griffins, they are solitary and territorial. But sometimes, once in a year, they join together just to mate, and after several days, they go on their separate ways. Their diet consists of plants and meat, giving them their own space, and this creature will not be a threat. Once threatened or provoked, they will attack and kill. The special ability of this creature is turning their target into stone. They know how to create and use weapons as well. They are smart like humans. Just in case you encountered an aggressive Medusa, make sure that you don't look at them in the eyes, or else it will turn you to stone. Then Nald asked a question. "Then how can we fight them, Father, if we cannot look at them?" Anuk replied, "Then we use our other senses. We need to feel them, especially their aura. Another capability they have is even if our eyes are closed, they can still turn us into stone. They emit light aura on their faces. Once we are in their range, we will turn into stone." Now then ask question. "But how can we defeat them, Father?" Again, as I have said earlier, we need to feel them, feel their aura. Make sure that you are 10 feet away from them just to be safe, or you can sneak behind them and surprise them by decapitating their head, or you can use your offensive elemental transmutation to kill them. Now I was able to understand. "Understood, Father." I'll continue the discussion. The next special mystic beings are Vadnokana. Vadnokana has a combined characteristic of both hybrid beasts. They can grow up to 50 feet in length and 5 feet in girth. This creature is a giant of old snake, a colossal snake that can devour anything on its path. That includes other special mystic beings as well. This creature can be found more on swamps, but sometimes it can be found in forests. Their diet is any meat that they can swallow. They are very fast, even for their largest size. Their attack patterns is very similar to an ordinary snake. They strike with speed and then they constrict their prey. But sometimes, if the prey is too small for them, they simply just bite the prey and swallow them whole. Now, since you know their attack patterns, the strategy in defeating this creature is simply evading their fast strike. Then once you see an opening, then you can deliver a deadly strike on their head. Nal was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." Ano continued. The next special mystic beings are Xylodon. Xylodon has a combined characteristic of a hybrid giant man and beast. They are 30 feet tall and their grotesque face looks like one-eyed giant monster. Like Capre and Golem, this creature also strong but does not have a capability or does not have any special capabilities. Their attack pattern is basically the same as Golem. They stomp their prey using their hands and feet, or they can throw anything that they can put on their hands on, such as tree or rock. Their skin is not tough as Golem, so it's easy for us to defeat this creature. Use the same strategy on how we fight giant. Nal was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." The next mystic beings are Centaur. Centaurs are a combined characteristic of a man and beast. They are 9 feet tall. The head looks like a human. The upper body shapes like a human, but the lower body resembles of a whole body of the horse. They are not big, agile, and powerful as Tikbalan, but they are smart like humans. They know how to make use of weapons. And they move like a horse, and speed is the same as the horse when they run. They are much faster. They are much stronger than humans because they are bigger. Their attack pattern is simply use of weapons and also their strength. The strategy on fighting this creature is same as fighting a human, but beware of their strength. Sometimes they incorporate physical attack during their weapon, such as turning backward and kick you, setting you way off the ground. This attack is very damaging, especially if your body is not trained to withstand such impact. They can also grab you and throw you away. We use our speed and strength in defeating this creature. Again, carnal senses will be our key to victory. Now I was able to understand as I replied, "Understood, Father." The next special mystic beings are Siren. Siren has a combined characteristic of a man and beast. Their size ranges from 5 feet to 6 feet tall. The head looks like a monster, has sharp teeth, and body looks like a human, and body shapes like a human. Both arms has claws, and the lower body resembles the whole body of a fish. Their diet mainly consists of meat that includes humans, elves, and dwarves. They are located mainly in deep waters, but some goes to shallow water to hunt for food. They are very aggressive and relentless in killing their prey. When they are on deep waters, they hunt in groups. Male grow up to 6 feet, while female grow up to 5 feet. Both have the same capabilities, but males are much more physically stronger than females, and females can grow wings to fly. These creatures has a capability for shape-shifting, where it can mimic a human, or elves, or dwarf's body, and they can hypnotize their prey using a sound. They do this to fool their prey, and once they are in front of their prey, they will deliver the killing blow. Just in case that you are traveling in waters and you encounter these creatures, first thing you need to know is their attack pattern. Their attack is mainly direct, and they don't stop until they kill their prey. They use their sharp claws to finish their prey. Now the battle is quite different because you're battling either inside the boat or underwater. If you're inside the boat, then we are an advantage because we can use both of our feet, and we can perform our Xaltic stance to defend and attack. But be careful of the female siren because they can fly and ambush you through the air, but no need to worry because you already mastered the Xaltic art of battle. They are no match once we are in Xaltic stance. Now then ask a question. What if the battle is underwater, Father? That scenario will be very difficult for us because we cannot move fast in water. We are great disadvantage. Then I'll ask, then what should we do, Father, in order for us to defeat this creature underwater? Anok replied, well, since we can only thrust underwater and these creatures are very fast swimmer, The only weapon we can rely on is our Xaltic. Remember the transmuted object that you store in our pouch? We can use it to attack this creature underwater. We can either use the full power of fire transmutation or thunderbolt to kill this creature in just one shot. Now then ask why we use fire transmutation, Father, since we are underwater. The water will just dissipate the fire. Anak replied, you are correct, son, but remember I said full power of fire transmutation. That means it will melt the water and it will take time to dissipate. The range of using our Xaltic slingshot underwater is maximum of 20 feet. I was able to understand as he replied, understood, Father. Anna continued the discussion. Another thing that you need to be aware of is if in any case that we cannot dodge the attack and they are attacking multiple directions underwater, we can simply means we are in danger. We can use our earth transmutation to protect our whole body. But be wary though, once you use this underwater, you will sink very fast because we are too heavy using this type of transmutation. You have to use it in a second before the attack reaches your body and undo the transmutation as fast as you can. The timing is very essential when doing earth transmutation underwater. We can also use water transmutation to transmute ice where we can temporarily land our feet. I was able to understand as I replied, understood, Father. The next special mystic beings are Myrmidon. Myrmidon is a combined characteristic of both hybrid giant beasts. They are 50 feet in length and the girth of the torso is 15 feet. The head looks like a crocodile with a very sharp serrated teeth, and the girth is 5 feet and the length is 5 feet. It has a long neck with a length of 10 feet and girth is 5 feet. All four limbs are equipped with sharp claws, and the length of the torso is 20 feet, and the length of the tail is 15 feet. This is a very colossal sea monster. Their diets are mostly on meat. This includes other special mystic beings, humans, dwarves, elves, and other sea creatures. They are located in the deep ocean. This sea monster is an apex predator. I have not actually slayed it, but I was able to wound it severely. For that thing to escape from me during the battle, their skin is very tough. Their skin is very tough as well, but not as tough as Gollum. Now then asked, what should I do, Father, if in any case I encounter this type of monsters in the sea? Anuk replied, well, my strategy in fighting these monsters is use multiple water transmutation to make a temporary ice where I can walk and perform Xaltic stance. From there, I use the Xaltic art of battle to defeat this creature. This creature is an ambush predator, so they keep attacking below the water. Our carnal senses will warn us when they will strike, so that we can evade their attack. Keep using water transmutation to make temporary ice to walk into because it will destroy once this creature attacks below. Can also use offensive elemental transmutation to damage this creature. I also noticed that if this creature is severely wounded, it will escape the battle. And it's up to you if you want to chase and finish the creature or not. Now then ask, Father, I have a question. Why did you not finish the creature? Anuk replied, it's because I'm tired, son. I don't have enough physical energy to chase this creature and finish the battle. The battle for the sea monster is not easy. It will take all of your physical energy to defeat this colossal sea monster. I was able to understand, as he replied, understood, Father. Now for the last special mystic beings are werewolf. Werewolf has a combined characteristic of a man and beast. They are 13 feet tall, All of its body is covered with brown hair. The head looks like a wolf that has a sharp fang. The upper body shapes like a human. All four limbs has sharp claws, and the lower body resembles of a wolf leg and tail. These creatures are hermaphrodites, meaning they produce their own offspring. They are located in isolated caves or Kalali Forest. Here in Kalali Forest, their diet consists of meat of wild animals, but rarely prey on human dwarves and halflings and elves. They are very territorial and solitary. Once threatened or provoked, they will attack and kill, giving their own space, and they will leave us alone. The special capabilities of this creature is they can call packs of wolves that is near in the area and command them to attack the target. The sharp teeth and claws and keen sense of smells are also part of their ability. Their attack pattern is they will attack you directly. If unable to kill you, then they will call a pack of wolves and command them to attack you. Enhancing our senses and physical attributes will help us defeat this creature. And I was able to understand Anog as he replied, "Understood, Father." Anog proceeded discussing the next mystic being. While explaining the mystic being, he again walking back and forth while both hands on his left back clinging, occasionally look back and out. Now let us go to the next mystic beings. These are undead mystic beings. Undead mystic beings are creatures that has an undead traits. And when you say undead traits, these are creatures that has a characteristic of a rotten flesh, monster, or a flesh that won't die. This creature belongs in the underworld, where they can enter our world by either being brought back to life or summoned by using dark magic for an unknown reason. They can enter the corpse that has not been properly buried and then evolve into beings that feeds on rotten flesh. There are two types of undead beings. These are rotten corpse eater and blood eater. A rotten corpse eater are creatures that crave only for rotten corpse. This creature able to enter our world through corpses that is not properly buried or summoned by necromancers or witches. You will also notice that the affected corpse are only humans, not mystic beings and wild ones. Now I'd suddenly get curious as he asked Anog, as he replied, "Why is it, Father, that the only affected are humans?" Anog replied, "Because we humans are corrupted, and these beings are only attracted to those who are evil, untimely death, and full of vengeance, those who are not blessed by holy. After they die, mostly those who are not properly buried." And I was able to understand as I replied, "Understood, Father." Anog continue the discussion. Let us continue. This creature don't eat fresh meat like wild ones or special mystic beings. But if they encounter live beings, they will kill them, but will not eat them after the kill. They will wait for several days until the corpse becomes rotten so that they can feed on them. Example of rotten corpse eaters are Anod, Shokoy, Ungol, Wakwak, and Undin. This rotten corpse eater can be found anywhere in grassland as long as there are rotten corpses that is present. Anod continued describing this creature. Now let us continue. Now let us discuss each rotten corpse eater and its capabilities. Let us start with Ungol. Ungols are creatures that looks like a combined rotten dog and rotten flesh of a human. They are 5 feet in length. Their grotesque head that has an elongated mouth with sharp teeth. The shape of the torso is like a rotten human's, and the lower body shapes like a rotten human except for 4 limbs, which looks like a combined rotten humans and rotten dog. They also have sharp claws. This creature don't have tails or hair. This creature is quite strong for being undead. It looks like a dog, and their attack patterns are mostly physical attacks, such as charge forward with the use of their claws. They can also use their teeth to bite. These creatures are not alone. They attack in groups. Fighting this Fighting this is very simple as fighting a human, but they are not smart. Just avoid their attack and find an opening to deliver a killing blow. Now I was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." Ano continued the discussion. Now for the next undead mystic beings under Rotten Corpse Eater are Anod. Anods are creatures that looks like a whole body has a characteristic of a rotten human corpse. They are 5 feet in height. They have sharp teeth and sharp claws that can penetrate soft grounds. That can penetrate soft grounds. They have a capability to dig under the soft grounds and burrow themselves to ambush their prey. This creature can be found mostly on lands that has rotten corpse. This creature prefers to ambush their victims, so their attack patterns is mainly to wait in their burrows until their prey comes to a distance of ambush and initiate the kill. They can also attack you directly by running forward to the victim and use their claws to attack. Fighting this creature is not that hard for us. It's like fighting a human, but not as smart as human. Our carnal senses will sense them and alert us from danger. Can also attack in groups. Most Anod is not alone, so be careful if they attack in groups since we are more faster and stronger than this creature, we can easily kill them. Just find an opening and deliver a killing blow. Now I was able to understand as a reply. Understood, Father. Ano continued the discussion. Now for the next undead mystic beings are Corpse Eater. Under Corpse Eater are Shokoi. Shokoi are creatures that has a combined characteristic of a rotten human flesh and rotten fish. They are 5 feet in height. The head looks like a rotten human head with gills and fins. It has very sharp teeth as well. The torso looks like a rotten human body. At the back has fins. All limbs have flippers and sharp claws. Looks like a combined rotten human limbs and rotten fish. They are mostly found in deep or shallow waters, as long as there are rotten corpse present. They can also be found in beaches as well. There are 2 scenarios where you can fight this creature. It's either you fight them underwater or fight them on land. This creature are fast swimmers just like Siren, but if you fight them underwater, it is recommended that you use your fire elemental transmutation to kill this creature in an instant. But if you fight this creature on land, then use our Xaltic art of battle. Be aware though, this creature is not alone. They attack in groups. Fighting this creature on land is the same as fighting a human, but they are not smart as human. The attack patterns mainly direct physical attacks where it will launch forward attacks with its claws. Just find an opening and deliver a killing blow. Now I was able to understand as he replied. Understood, Father. Ano continued the discussion. Now, for the next undead mystic beings under Corpse Eater are Wakwak. Wakwaks are creatures that has a characteristic of a rotten human flesh with the bat wings. They are 5 feet in height. They have sharp teeth and sharp claws. They can be found mostly in lands of grassland as long as there is a rotten corpse present. Now, the attack patterns of these creatures are similar to Griffin. They will attack from above, so that strategies in defeating this creature is evading their aerial attack. Once they are open, then deliver a killing blow. Be aware though that these creatures are not alone. They can also attack in groups. Now I was able to understand as he replied. Understood, Father. Ano continued the discussion. Now, for the next undead mystic being under Corpse Eaters are Undin. Undin, I believe I already described this creature to you, son. Do you still remember? Nald replied, Yes, Father, I remember them clearly. These These are undead mystic beings are small creatures that has a small size of a newborn baby, and they are very fast creatures. You told me when fighting these little critters is we need to heighten our senses so that we can sense their movement and attack them with our spear accurately. Once they have been hit successfully, they will die instantly. Anok smiled as he replied, "Excellent, son. You do remember our discussion. Those theory will really help you a lot once you encounter these mystic beings in an actual battle." Nald is humbled as he replied, "Thank you, father. You are my excellent teacher." Anok continued the discussion. "Another thing to remember, son, that these creatures are not alone as well. They attack in groups. They are located mostly in lands of grassland as long as there are corpse of an infant is present." Nal was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, father." Anok continued discussion. "Son, I am done explaining the corpse eater and its capabilities. Now let us go to the blood eater." Anok proceeded discussing the blood eaters. "Now, son, for the next undead mystic beings are blood eaters. Blood eaters are creatures that crave only for fresh blood. They will kill any living creatures. This includes wild ones, special mystic beings, humans, halflings, dwarves, and elves, just to satisfy their hunger for fresh blood. They're much powerful compared to corpse eater and much harder to kill except for Tianak, which is the weakest of blood eaters. But they are dangerous. Blood eaters are cursed human beings, but some can be summoned from the other world. They are much powerful at night, especially vampires. Example of blood eaters are Ikek, Manananggal, Tiktik, Aswang, Tianak, Vampire, Vampiresses, and Raku. I will continue the discussion. Now let us discuss each blood eaters and their capabilities. Let us start with Ikek. Ikek are creatures that has a combined characteristic of a devilish bird and devilish human. You can distinguish them by ik sound. They are 5 feet in height. Their head looks like a devilish bird that has a sharp beak. The torso looks like a shape of humans. All 4 limbs has a combined characteristic of a devilish bird and human. Some part of the body of this creature has feathers, and this being has a devilish wing as well. This creature can extend its sharp tongues for about maximum of 6 feet in length. They use their sharp tongue to attack and suck blood. They have sharp claws, and their attack patterns are like griffins, where they attack from air. This creature is also summoned or cursed by necromancer. By reviving dead corpse using black magic, so expect to fight this creature once you encounter this type of magician. But somehow this creature can be found in random places, probably because it was summoned or cursed long ago by necromancers and was able to sustain its hunger for a long period of time. Be aware that this creature is somewhat immortal. As long as they sustain their hunger for fresh blood, they even mutilated will not kill them. Then Nald got curious as he asked, "So father, how can we kill this creature?" Anok smiled as he replied, "The best way to defeat this creature is to cut their body parts into pieces." Nald, still confused as he asked, "Father, you told me that this creature are immortal, so that means cutting their bodies will not kill them." Anok smiled as he replied, "You're correct, son. They will still live even though if you cut them. But if you cut them into pieces where all bodies are scattered, they cannot attack you, and they don't have a capability to heal themselves or put their body parts back to its place. They will live even mutilated into pieces, but without fresh blood to sustain their hunger, they will die. It will take a week before they actually die of hunger for fresh blood." Nal was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, father." Anu continued the discussion. Another way to kill this creature is to use our maximum fire elemental transmutation, which is incineration, which will incinerate the whole body without leaving any trace. Now I was able to understand as I replied, incinerating them is much easier, Father. But thank you for giving me tips on how to defeat this creature. Anuc is pleased as he replied, you are welcome, son. It is very essential to learn this. Anuc continue discussing. Now for the next undead mystic beings under blood eaters are Tik-Tik. Tik-Tiks are creatures that has a characteristic of a devilish humanoid that can be distinguished by their Tik-Tik sound. They are 5 feet in height. The whole body looks like a devilish humanoid. They have fangs like vampires and a tongue just like an Ekek. They also have sharp claws. They can morph their bodies to have wings to fly if needed, but mostly they prefer to walk or run. Their attack patterns are mostly physical attacks, but be careful about their tongue. It is very fast when they use it to attack, just like Ekek. This creature are summoned or cursed by necromancers by reviving dead corpses using black magic. So expect to fight this creature once you encounter this type of magician. They can also be found in random places. The strategy in defeating this creature is same as Ekek, because this creature are also immortal. They won't die even mutilated into pieces, but by cutting them into pieces they will not be able to attack you and eventually succumb into hunger and die. Or you can use your maximum power of fire elemental transmutation to incinerate them. And I was able to understand as he replied, understood, Father. I will continue the discussion. Now for the next undead mystic beings under blood eaters are Manananggal. Manananggals are creatures that has the characteristic of a devilish humanoid. They are 5 feet in height. They can be males or females. They look like a devilish humanoid with wings. They have vampire fangs and sharp claws. This creature need human hosts to enter our human world. Once they are in the human form, they cannot be distinguished unless they are in battle or hunting for fresh blood. They changes their appearance into a devilish humanoid with wings. They are smart as humans. They are summoned by cursed or by necromancers and witches. These creatures are more active at night, not unless summoned by either necromancers and witches. This creature does not like garlic. This creature has the capability to separate its upper body from their lower body. The upper body can become immortal once it's separated from the lower body, but the lower body is not immortal, it can be killed. The attack patterns of this creature is mainly aerial attack, but they can fight and ground as well. They can bite to suck your blood, or they can stab or slice you with their sharp claws. There are 3 scenarios for fighting this creature. It's either you fight them with their whole body intact, or you're only fighting the upper body and the lower body is hidden away, or fighting both upper body and lower body at the same time. But both upper body and lower body separated. Be aware that fighting both upper body and lower body at the same time means that you have to be aware of the lower body's attack, because it also has sharp claws in its feet. They have the capability to control their lower body as long as they can see them. Fighting the whole body is much easier. It's like fighting a human. They can be killed anytime by delivering a killing blow. But when you fight a creature with only their upper body, they become immortal. Even mutilating them will not kill them. They're much powerful at night. They have 3 options. Killing this creature, it's either cut them into pieces up until they cannot attack or fly, and wait until their hunger kill them. Second is you find their lower body and kill it, because once the upper body is still not connected to the lower body, they cannot turn into human form. And during sunrise, once their skin have contacted the sun, it will burn and kill them. However, they can still survive as long as they are not exposed to sunlight. Third is our maximum fire elemental transmutation to incinerate them. Now I was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. I will continue the discussion. Now for the next undead mystic beings, other blood eaters are aswang. Aswangs are creatures that has a characteristic of a devilish humanoid. They are 5 feet in height. They can be males or females. They look like a devilish humanoid, but they have a vampire fangs and sharp claws. This creature needs a human host to enter our human world. Once they are in human form, they cannot be distinguished. They can only be changed into devilish humanoid appearance if they are hunting for food or for fresh blood or in battle. They are smart as humans. They are summoned or cursed by necromancers and witches. These creatures are more active at night, not unless summoned by necromancers or witches. This creature has the capability to morph its body to any living being, such as wild ones, humans, elves, and halflings, and dwarves. They can even morph to someone that you know. They can also jump as high as 20 feet. This creature does not like garlic. It burns their skin. The strategy in defeating this creature is same as fighting a special mystic being. They can morph and have different fight patterns. That they are not immortal like Kianox. That means that they can be killed by delivering a killing blow. I will continue discussing undead mystic beings. Now for the next undead mystic beings are under blood eaters or Tianak. I believe I also discussed this to you along with Undine. Do you still remember, son? Nald replied, Yes, Father, I still remember. Anok smiled as he replied, Excellent, son. Remember that Undine and Tianox has the same capabilities. The only difference is Tianox are blood eaters and look more devilish baby. Now I was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. I will continue the discussion. Now, for the next undead mystic beings under blood eaters are vampire and vampiresses. Vampire and vampiresses are creatures that has the characteristic of a devilish humanoid males. Males are 6 feet tall while females are 5 feet tall. They are very powerful creatures, especially at night. This creature is summoned or cursed only by necromancers. They need a human host to gain access to a human world. It is very hard to distinguish them once they are in human form. They are very good at blending at their surroundings. They will only turn into vampire if they will hunt for fresh blood or in battle. These creatures are not immune to sunlight. It will burn their skin. But this creature can transform back into human form. They become immune to sunlight. They can heal their wounds faster than ordinary. These creatures are very fast. It is almost as fast as us. They are very strong as well, sharp fangs and claws. They are also smart as humans. They have a capability to turn into mist and disappear. Mostly this creature attack on the back and that is the hard part in fighting this creature. Our carnal senses will warn us, but only for a second, so that means we only have seconds to defend from their attack. The mist form is not totally hidden, so we have the chance to sense them before they attack. These creatures are not immortal as long as we hit them with their vital part, which is the heart, and that will kill them. I will continue the discussion. Now for the last undead mystic beings are under blood eaters are Draku. Draku are creatures that has a characteristic of a devilish humanoid. They are 6 feet tall. They need human host in order to gain access to our human world. They are smart as humans. They are summoned or cursed by necromancers They are smart as humans. They are summoned or cursed by necromancers only. They are the most powerful breed of vampire in this world, the king of all vampire. Compared to the capability of ordinary vampire, their power is absolutely crazy. Their speed, power, and agility is beyond an ordinary vampire. Not only that, they are fast that they have thick skin and The heart is covered with thick bones. Ordinary weapon will not penetrate this creature. Fighting this creature is life-threatening to us because their missed capability is beyond the capability of a vampire. Once they turn into mist, their presence is completely disappeared. Our carnal senses will be having a hard time to react as fast to this creature. It can also morph into bats and wolves. They have the capability to cast fire elementals. They can hypnotize an ordinary living being. This creature has a capability to wield swords and weapons, even though they already have sharp claws and fangs. Once you have been bitten by this creature, you will turn into a vampire. Now, become curious as he asks, Father, how can we defeat this creature? They are way beyond our capability. Anok smiled as he replied, You are correct, son. They are way too powerful, but remember that we adjust to the fight, and it doesn't matter whether your opponent are strong. If our opponent is strong, then we need to be stronger as well. That is the purpose of why we train our body every day, to make our body to be much stronger than before and break our limit. A Xaltic warrior that is not training his body will easily be defeated by this creature. I was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. Ano continued the discussion. I remember way back in my time, we Xaltics are having a hard time defeating this creature. A group of Xaltics tried to kill this creature but failed to do so. Only the strongest Xaltic was able to defeat this creature, and that was me. Now got curious and asked, Amazing, Father, how did you kill this creature? Anok smiled as he replied, Well, after several attacks that I connected, I was able to puncture the heart, but that is not enough. The creature still lived after I removed the spear. This creature has a capability to regenerate. We have to incinerate the heart or incinerate the whole body while the heart is pierced to kill this creature. I still have scars on my lower back, a remembrance from this creature. And I was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. Anok continued discussion. This time they proceed on elemental mystic beings. Now let us go to the next mystic beings. These are elemental mystic beings. Elemental mystic beings are creatures that has an elemental characteristic. These creatures varies from 4 types of elements. These are fire, earth, water, and wind. There are a total of 4 elemental creatures that I discovered so far, and these are jinns, elms, sprites, and Balkan. Let us start with jinns. Jinns are creatures that has a characteristic of fire elemental. This creature looks like a devilish humanoid rock that has flames all over its body. They are 6 feet tall. This creature can be summoned by summoners, sorcerers, and wizards. They can be found in random places in Grasnot. This creature has a capability to inflict flames of hell to a wide range of area. The weakness of this creature is maximum water-ice transmutation. Just attack them with our maximum water-ice transmutation, and you can defeat this creature in no time. But be aware of our physical energy. Since we are fighting with creatures with our full power, Since we are fighting the creature with our full power of our elemental transmutation, our physical energy will deplete faster, so don't fight this creature if your physical energy is insufficient, or you will be defeated. Make sure that you're in full condition fighting this creature. Now I was able to understand as he replied, Understood, Father. I will now continue discussion. Now for the next elemental mystic beings, these are sprites. Sprites are creatures that has a characteristic of a water elemental. This creature looks like a female humanoid with the whole body is made up of water. They are 5 feet tall. This creature can be summoned by summoner, sorcerer, and wizard. This creature can be found in random places in Grasnot. This creature has a capability to cast tidal wave in wide range of area, especially if there are rivers or ocean nearby. The weakness of these creatures is our maximum fire elemental transmutation. Just attack them with our maximum fire transmutation, and you can defeat these creatures in no time. Again, but be aware about our physical energy. Since we are fighting this creature with the full power of our elemental transmutation, our physical energy will deplete us faster. So don't fight this creature if your physical energy is insufficient, or you will be defeated. Make sure that you're in full condition fighting this creature. Now, I will then continue the discussion. Now, for the next elemental mystic beings, these are elms. Elms are creatures that has a characteristic of an earth elementals. This creature looks like a tree, but the shape of the bodies look like a human. They are 5 feet tall. This creature can be summoned by summoners, sorcerers, and wizard. This creature can be found in random places in Grassland. This creature has a capability to cast quake and wide range of area, and can also manipulate grounds. My recommendation defeating this creature is combine our fire and forest transmutation, or ice and forest transmutation, to inflict damage on this creature. Again, make sure that you monitor physical energy, and you should be in top condition in fighting this creature. Now was able to understand, has replied, "Understood, Father." I will continue the discussion. Now for the last elemental mystic beings, these are Valkon. Valkons are creatures that has a characteristic of a wind elemental. This creature looks like a shape of a humanoid face, and a head that is made up of wind. They are 4 feet in length. This creature can be summoned by summoners, sorcerers, and wizard. This creature can be found in random places of Grassland. This creature has a capability to cast hurricanes and tornadoes in wide range of area. My recommendation in defeating this creature is combine fire and force transmutation. But you can also experiment combining other elemental transmutation and see the best result in defeating this creature. Again, don't let your guard down. Always monitor your physical energy and examine the situation you're in. Now I was able to understand, has he replied. Understood, Father. I now proceed on the next mystic being. Now let us go to the next mystic being. These are spirit mystic beings. Spirit mystic beings are creatures that has a spectral and characteristic. They don't have a capability. They don't have a physical bodies, and they only appear in mist form, like an image of their previous body, and when they are alive. Some are grotesque looking, and some are normal looking, or sometimes they look like a mist with the shape of a human, an orb. This creature belongs to a spectral world where all previously living beings that died goes to. It is like a purgatory. They can be found on random places in Grassland and can be summoned by shaman. Every time you will encounter this creature, the atmosphere changes. You will feel the chills throughout your body. This creature cannot be damaged by any physical attack. Even our elemental transmutation is useless against this creature, because they don't have bodies to begin with, unless we use the stardust to force them to materialize in the material world. That is when we can hurt them. Once they are in battle, they change their appearance into a wraith or specter. There are 6 types of spirit mystic beings. These are white spiritual entity, dark spiritual entity, demonic spiritual entity, plague spiritual entity, force soul entity, and wisp. Now, let us start with white spiritual entity. White spiritual entity are creatures that has the characteristic of a white mist. Most of the clothes of this creature looks like a white mist. This creature are restless spirit that even death won't let them rest, due to the unresolved conflict that keep them clinging to the human world. They use their corpse or special items as their main string of attachment to the human world. Their bodies won't turn into corpse either due to the severe attachment to the human world. These creatures are not aggressive unless provoked. They become wraith once they are ready to kill. They can attack physically and hide into spectral at the same time. There are three ways to defeat this creature. First is to resolve their unresolved conflict, whatever it may be. Or second, we can force them to leave the material world by eliminating their presence by using Stardust as our auxiliary weapon with spear to hurt this creature, but make sure that you burn their main string of attachment in the human world first, or they will just keep coming back. Third is sealing them, but the only person who can do this is either shaman or priest. I was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." I will continue the discussion. Now for the next spirit mystic beings are dark spiritual entity. Dark spiritual entity are creatures that has a characteristic of a dark mist. Most of the clothes of this creature looks like a dark mist. This creature are vengeful spirit. They lust for kill when they are still alive. They do human sacrifice. They keep chanting for dark magic. Basically, they are really evil person. They put a curse on themselves that binds them into the human world. Even after death, they will cling to the human world and body will not turn into corpse either. They serve demon god as well. Then suddenly, now I'll open up a question. But Father, we serve demon god as well, right? Does that mean that we will turn into this creature? Anok smiled as he answered, "You're correct, son, that we serve demon god, but that was long time ago. After imbuing the holy sigil in our body, it really changed us a lot. In order for us to turn into this creature, is we need to be evil and cast curse on ourselves during dying, or we have unresolved conflict that keep us on this world. Though we still have power of the demon god bestowed us, it does not mean that we are evil. It depends upon the person who uses the power. This holy sigil protects us from demon god, and that's what counts." I was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." I will continue the discussion. Now, let us continue. This creature will change its appearance into a grotesque black wraith once it's ready to kill. They can do physical attack and hide into spectral at the same time. There are two ways to defeat this creature. First option is to seal them away using sealing technique. Only shaman tribe or trained priests know how to use this. But there are downsides on this. If the seal breaks, then the creature can wreak havoc again. Second option is what we are good at. We force them to leave the material world by eliminating their presence, by using Stardust as an auxiliary weapon, along with the spear to hurt this creature. But make sure that you burn their main string of attachment in the human world first, or else they will keep just coming back. And I was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." I will continue the discussion. Now for the next spirit mystic beings are demonic spiritual entity. Demonic spiritual entity are creatures that has a characteristic of a different color combination of mist. It can be white, can be black, or it can be red. The only way for you to differentiate these creatures from spiritual entities is the evil presence in the area. The evil presence are so severe that even a normal person can feel the presence. They look varies depending on what demon you are encountering, but no need to discuss that because we are not priest or shaman. What they are required to know the name of the demon, where they are required to know the name of the demon in order for them to seal or exorcise the demon. We only need to fight them in battle using our Stardust and spear. This creature has a capability to possess anything it wanted to, from human to a thing, but they prefer humans, elves, dwarves, and halflings because they have better souls, and they have better And they have better souls. I'm not sure why they need them. Maybe because they have quotas in hell, or maybe it strengthened them. But these creatures feeds on souls. Their appearance changes into either wraith or specter once in battle. They can inflict physical attack and hide in spectral world at the same time. They can also absorb life energy, so be careful about these creatures. Has a capability to control dark spiritual entity and have them do their bidding. Since dark spiritual entities are evil anyways, there are two ways to defeat this creature. First option is to seal them, which we are not capable of doing. Second is where we are good at. Force them to leave the material world by eliminating their presence by using stardust as our auxiliary weapon along with the spear to hurt this creature. But make sure that you burn their mainstream of attachment in the human world first, or else they'll just keep coming back. Now I was able to understand, so replied. Understood, Father. I will continue the discussion. Now for the next spirit mystic beings are plague spiritual entity. Plague spiritual entity, also known as Nuno sa Punso, are creatures that has a characteristic of a green mist. Mostly the cloth of this creature looks like a green mist. This creature has a combination of restless and vengeful spirit. Their appearance change into wraith once in battle. They can attack physically and then hide to spectral just like other spirit. They cast plague on their victims, and they are not aggressive if you're not going to bother them. This creature can be found in the forests and mountains. They possess trees or anything where they can rest in peace, but if disturbed, they will put plague and make you suffer for quite a while before they will kill you. There are two options to defeat this creature. It's either you seal them or again force them to leave the material world. Now I was able to understand, has replied. Understood, Father. Now the next spirit mystic beings are force soul entity. Force soul entity are creatures that has a characteristic of a soul of a person that has been dead. This creature can only be summoned by shaman. They are forced to follow shaman's will. They can be warriors or previously well-known powerful person. They become specter if they are in battle. The only way to defeat this creature is to defeat the shaman, and then we can now weaken the spirit and force them to go back into the spectral world. Now I was able to understand as he replied. Understood, Father. I'm not continue discussion. Now for the last spirit mystic beings are wisps. Wisps are creatures that has a characteristic of an orb. They are harmless actually, but they can touch you and push you. This spirit has not yet crossed the afterlife and are still in the human world. Once you see an orb, that means there is a wisp spirit within an area. And I was able to understand as he replied. Understood, Father. So the next mystic beings are dragons. Dragons are creature ranges from 30 feet to 50 feet in length. This creature can breathe fire and have wings to fly, sharp claws to fly, and have wings to fly. Sharp claws and sharp teeth, a very formidable monster. They have tough scales, tougher than gone. They are only summoned by summoner. If any case that you encounter this being, the best strategy is to attack its eyes first, and after that we attack its scaled 100 times after that we can attack its scales 100 times using our spear and combine it with our offensive elemental transmutation to crack it open, and then we can deliver our deadly blow. Now I was able to understand as he replied. Understood, Father. The last mystic beings will be godlike mystic beings. These beings ranges from 50 feet to 1,000 feet. From 50 feet up to 1,000 feet. They are incredibly immense amount of. This ranges from 50 feet up to 1,000 feet. They have incredibly immense amount of energy and they can only be summoned by a very powerful summoner. If in any case that you encounter these godlike mystic beings, you have to run as fast as you can to get off the battlefield. Pray that you survive, because we don't have any chance to survive if we hit by their immense energy. Even our defensive elemental transmutation, such as earth transmutation, is useless against this being. The immense energy we need the immense energy. We need miracle to survive against these godlike beings. Usually casters die as well after they summon the godlike mystic beings. Now this was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father. That is it for the mystic beings. There may be more monsters out there that needs to be discovered, but it's up to you to learn their capabilities and attack patterns. We Xaltics learn and adapt from battle. Remember, always analyze and measure the situation." Now was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." Anak proceeded on discussing wild ones. While explaining the wild ones, he again walked back and forth while both hands is on lower back clean, occasionally looked back at Now. Now let us proceed on wild ones. Wild ones are animals that can be found in wild. Can actually hunt for they can actually hunt them for food, or some can be used as goat. There are only few wild ones that needs to be aware of danger because of their size, strength, especially those carnivores with sharp fangs and claws. But they are not as powerful compared to special mystic beings. These carnivores are Kalali bear, mountain bear, Chikinawa, wolves, wild boars, and saber-tooth. There are herbivores that can fight back if provoked. These are bison, like minotaur. Bison can ram. They can use their horns to ram their attacker. Now fighting wild ones, especially the strongest, which is the Kalali bears, always use our Xaltic art of battle. We evade their attack and deliver a killing blow. Now was able to understand now suddenly asked question. "Father, I have a question. What is Chikinawa?" Anok smiled as he replied, "Here in Grasnod, people call it Chikinawa, and they're also known as wild dogs. This creature hunts in packs, just like wolves, but they're much more aggressive than wolves." Now I was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." Anok continued the discussion. There are also wild ones that prefer to get away from danger. These are antlers, raccoon, rats, eagle, cows, horses, and more. I have not discovered them all, but it's up to you to discover. We can differentiate wild ones from special mystic beings based on their characteristic. Wild ones are much weaker than special mystic beings. Let us take a break for about an hour, and then we will continue the discussion. The last part of our topic will be the content of Grasnod and its people. Now I was able to understand as he replied, "Understood, Father." The two rest for a while. Anok sit on the rock, while Nald is lying on the ground, with his back. It is already afternoon. Anok called on Nald, and the two continue conversing. So that's it for the mystic beings. I do apologize. It takes quite a while because it has lots of monsters that I put in, and I also included the wild ones as well. And again, thank you for, if you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and it will really help me a lot. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.